Good morning, student. Today we are here to discussing about our chapter 4 of 9th class, computer networking. What is computer networking? In this module, we learn different types of networking, different of devices, different module about networking as well as protocols of communication. So let's start our chapter. In computer networking, a group of autonomous computers connected to share and hardware, software and applications is called a network. Then what is the need for computer networking? Why we use networking? So there are several reasons. Some are file sharing, hardware sharing, application sharing, increased storage. For example, file sharing. I want to send one video to you. I use different of app, Bluetooth, infrared, Wi-Fi, other things to share the file. Hardware like printer, scanner, other things share with different of machines together. That is called. That other thing is user communication, network gaming like PUBG and other games, voice over protocol like WhatsApp calling, Facebook calling, etc. So types of network. Our next point is types of network. There are different kinds of network types are available, but nowadays we basically use four types mainly. What are these? These are PAN, LAN, MAN, WAN. LAN, local area network. PAN, personal area network. MAN, metropolitan area network. While WAN, wide area network. What are these? Now we start with the characteristics of each one personally. First one is characteristic of PAN, personal area network. It's not more than 10-meter area to be covered by it because it is typically devices connected together with the help of Bluetooth, infrared or hotspot or Wi-Fi. So this is the way whenever we use the different things in an office or a room, that time we create a personal area network. So this is the use of, but the speed is very high, sometimes it's wireless, that's why it's also called WPAN. Now, other nearby computers and exchange the conductivity of human body also. Next one is LAN. Now we are discussing about the characteristics of LAN. Communication quality is better compared with other networks. That means a LAN is the fastest means to sharing the things. That means in the networking, LAN is the best one because the transmission error rate is very less. There are variety of cable, fiber, wireless transmission also available. That means guided and unguided. Both type of communication facility is available into it. And all computers are connected with a single cable. For example, if you ever check the different of cameras installed in different of rooms in a building, school or colleges, all are connected with a same area. That they use local area networking. After the LAN, we move to our next point, MAN. Or MAN, as I already told the full form of it, Metropolitan Area Network. What is the use? Actually, it covers up to 200 kilometer area. That means a big city also, with the help of towers and server rooms. So it is a size like between LAN and WAN. Compared to the LAN, data transfer rate is low, but the costing is very much high. That's why it's totally used by different of companies and organizations only. The last one, but the best one. Characteristics of WAN, wide area network. Sometimes we also know it's with the name of internet. What is that? It is a geographical locations and reference make entire world interconnected together. That's why it's also called internet. Data transfer rate is less compared to the other networks, but ISPs, Internet Service Provider companies like Idea, Airtel, etc. companies are equipments to connect to the backbone network of the WAN. So WAN is the main topic or main point to interconnect the whole world with the help of internet. Now we moving to the transmission media. Whenever we are talking about the networking or talking about the communication, some things that means a medium, how to make communication with each other. The medium through which data information is transmitted is called transmission media. There are two types of transmission media. First one is guided media, that means wired. Second one is unguided media, that is wireless. So now we are discussing about guided media first. What is guided media? Guided media refers to wires of some kind of material or technology that is used to transfer data over computer networks. There are various wired media. Different type of wire media are available in the market. We are discussing about the main three. First one is twisted pair cable. Twisted pair cable, two cables are paired each other and transmitted the data in the communication like telephone lines and others. So it widely for settling small computer network. It contains four twisted pair cables in the form of double helix covered into an outer field. What are the advantages when we use twisted pair cable? The advantage is first is very cheaper and far easier to set up, less susceptible and electrical interference caused when nearby equipment or wire causing less crosswalk. Second, cable is coaxial cable. Coaxial cable like cable connection cable or disc cable. It is the simple example of coaxial cable. Your disconnection cable is an example of coaxial cable. Consists of solid wire core surrounded by an insulating material. The insulator enhanced by a cylindric conductor, often a closely woven braid mesh. That means a mesh surrounding the area which is the center cable is to be there, and it covered a protective plastic sheet. That means a black or white color cover sheet is to be open over the cable. Now what are the advantages of it? Is better shielded than twisted pair, so can span long distance. It can be used for transmission both analog and digital signal. That means our TV as well as communication. So data transmission rate is high. That's another advantage of it. What is the disadvantage of it? The disadvantage of coaxial cable is that difficult to connect network devices and generally requires more planning than twisted pair cable, like set-top box and one router is there. So that is the disadvantage of it. Now the third one, the third cable is optical fiber cable. These time the biggest company and 4G communication is only possible because of the optical fibers. What is that? So very expensive, carries data information at a larger stretch and is the most efficient, readable, fastest transmission medium till date, because 4G and 5G only because of this fiber cable. Advantage is much greater bandwidth than metal cable. Speed is very high. It is bandwidth capability of 400 mHz/km or greater. The disadvantage and one more advantage is the speed. 1 Gbps to 100 Gbps. It offers to power loss. This allows for longer transmission distance up to one city to another city, even one country to another. The disadvantage is error detection is very difficult because it's made of fiber and optics. That's why the finding error is a difficult task. So these are these. Now let's check what are types cable are these. This one is twisted pair cable, while this one is coaxial cable, and the third one is fiber optic cables. Now guided media, we move to unguided or wireless media. This time wireless media is more famous than the wired media. So for wireless communication, electromagnetic waves are used over the computer network. The frequency of these waves are measured in hertz or Hz, like mHz also. The property of these waves changes with the frequency of the electromagnetic waves. So based on the frequencies, electromagnetic waves are categorized as. So start with the first one, radio waves. Radio waves transmission are used in the cordless phones like AM, FM, and radio bandwidth and walkie-talkies also. This time we very less few times we use FM radio now. This is possible because of radio waves. Second one is microwaves. I'm not talking about the oven, surely. Microwaves is a type of waves which communicate that data in a network. So in large cities where acquisition of land, big cabling is difficult and expensive, more microwave antennas can be put on top of high-rise buildings, like the mobile tower. These are the example of microwaves. Buildings and communication can be started in a short time. The third one is infrared waves. Infrared waves used in gender and facilities are used to short-range communication of approximately 5 meters. That means the range is very less. The remote control of your TV, especially when we use remote control for TV, this is because of the infrared. That's why they use a red infrared bulb. A CD, DVD player, ACs, transmission, these are all possible because of infrared waves. After that, the very famous one, Bluetooth. Like infrared is used for short range communication and approximately 10 meters. Bluetooth is very famous in this time because of infrared transmission is possible. Nowadays, many of devices connected with the help of Bluetooth. Next one is satellite link. Satellite link, it is used to very long distance wireless communication like TV and WhatsApp, and which may be distant geographical location. Satellite is used for communication, the transmission from Earth to satellite. These are the way. The next one is nowadays very famous, Wi-Fi. Full form is wireless fidelity, which gives you a chance to unite with the web without an immediate line from your PC to the ISP for Wi-Fi to work. Your required broadband net connectivity. First requirement is that. Second, wireless router transfer your web association with ISP to the PC. Even every mobile have Wi-Fi facility nowadays, smartphone. And other thing is that the next. Now we are discussing about the different of networks, guided and unguided media. The point is that how the network create and how this guided and unguided media work together. For this, we require protocols. What is the protocols? Protocols are the set of rules which is used to data transfer on the internet or other services. So some of the protocols are TCP/IP and HTTP, FTP, SMTP and other mail transfer protocols. So let's begin with TCP/IP. The full form is Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol. It is basic communication language or protocol of the internet. It can also be used for the communication protocol in private network. That means TCP/IP is responsible for internet connection and communication between two computers. That means our mobile or our laptop to the server, and server through our laptop or computer or mobile. So that is the private network, either internet or externet. So these are the facility. What are the FTP? The next one is FTP, File Transfer Protocol. As its name suggests, that when we want to receive or upload any of file, we use FTP. FTP is used to transfer files between two computers on the internet. Thus, the protocol used to transfer a file or load computer to web server or vice versa. That means upload and download. Both work. It has happened because the FTP, and that is program called FTP client, which is to remote computers. Now the next one is HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Control Protocol or Hypertext Transfer Protocol. What is this? HTTP procedure. This time, whenever you open any website, HTTP is compulsory to open. Otherwise, we never use any website in our mobile or computer. So, page from a web server to a web browser, it basically a set of rules transferring file, text, graphic, images, sound, videos, all the things. That means every type of multimedia file is to be transferred because of HTTP. Now, the HTTP defined formatted what action web server and web browser should take in response to via commands. So here the web server directing to the fetch transmitted with the HTTPs. HTTPs is a securely server or protocol which make our payment like Paytm, free recharge, Amazon Pay. Likewise, this is because of SMTP, where we make online payment without of any risk. So that is very useful for the worldwide world. That means www. The next one is email protocols. What are these? Email protocols. Email. Whenever we want to send or receive any of mail, we require some protocols for emails. So the service provider instantly send or receive mail protocols. Message sent through mail uses protocol like POP, IMAP, SMTP. So discuss. First one is POP. This is an internet email protocol. What is this? The protocol extends mail protocol to receive emails from, allows you to download email message from your local computer from server to local email client. That means post office protocol is responsible to read and send the emails on any of email player. Next one is Instant Message Access Control Protocol, IMAP. What is mail protocol that is used for accessing email on remote web server? That means whenever we receive email and we don't have any internet connection, in that case IMAP is a facility where we read the email message whenever we are online or offline also. Here, commonly used internet mail protocols for retrieving emails protocols and supported by all modern email clients. That means every company which have email facility will support this. The major difference between POP and IMP is that it works offline as well as online, while POP is always work in online. Next one is Voice over Internet Protocol, VoIP. This is our last protocol. VoIP is basically a telephone connection over the internet, where it is also referred to as IP technology, internet telephonic, digital telephone. The data is sent digitally and using internet protocol instead analog telephone lines. That means WhatsApp calling, Facebook calling, and over the Skype. These are because of VoIP, and it is to pay long distance or international phone also. Now, after the protocols, we are moving to our next point is cloud computing. Cloud computers are what? Yeah, cloud computing means this time we use different of cloud computing. Sometimes we use, but we may be not aware about it, like Google Drive is a best example of cloud computing, where individuals we are using simple cloud service in our daily lives without even using web-based services. You are using the cloud. Cloud computing refers to portable storage like Google Drive, Facebook server, WhatsApp server. It facilitates us to save our data for a long time without any of storage means. That means without any of physical storage means we store our data in Google Drive, Google Plus, Facebook. For example, I started my Facebook account in 2010, but still, if I want to find my very first post, it is easily available in the Facebook. While Facebook never consume my mobile storage facility for this purpose. So that is called cloud computing. We have two applications running cloud. They provide storage space to store data and allows to access it from the part of world at any time. There is no need that I have the same mobile that I was used in 2010. Some examples of storing and sharing data over the cloud listed below: Google Docs, Google Plus, Google Data Servers, editable self-published contracts, web email provides like Gmail, Hotmail, Twitter, Yahoo Mail. These are the example of cloud computing. And message can be accessed anywhere in the world at any time. Like YouTube is a huge base of storage of data. With the help of internet, we use any type of YouTube storage without use our memory in the mobile. Like other things are there, storage space, social networking site like Facebook, Twitter, other handle our pictures, past pictures, videos, and other things on the site servers. So these are the cloud computing, and Next one is types of clouds. What are the types of clouds? Public clouds, private clouds, community clouds, hybrid clouds. What are the profit of clouds? These are some profit like application utilities, managing and configure apps online, no software required, online development, resources available, demand self-service, cost efficient, high efficiencies. These are the some advantages of cloud computing. Now, disadvantage of cloud one. Downtime since cloud computing internet based on the access out completely dependent on internet. For example, if my mobile don't have any internet connection, I never open my Google Drive data because it requires internet connection always. This is the basic and main disadvantage of cloud computing. Now, connection and some platforms, either of which may fail for some reason. And internet security breaches can be expected. For example, some of the users make the bug of Facebook clone in nowadays and turn projects cloud computing cloud turn out to be costly, limited control because the prices are very high of cloud computing after the free service available. Now the imports by the providers. Google use different of account based charges. So this is our chapter 4. I hope you understand well. Keep learning and reading. Thank you.